Assalamualaikum students, hope you will be doing well and will be safe in your homes. So today lecture is a continuation of this MCH lectures, and as you already know that what is an mother and child health program and what is integrated management of neonatal and childhood illness program in Pakistan. So today lectures will highlight the role of various healthcare providers, various healthcare workers, that is lady health workers, lady health visitors, traditional birth attendants, community midwives in the provision of these MCH and IMNCI program in Pakistan. And this, as you already know, that this IMNCI program strategy was first started in mid 1990s, and the aim of these such programs was to reduce the maternal mortality and mortality of the children under 5 years of age. So this lecture will tell you about the roles and responsibilities of these healthcare workers regarding this MCH program. So a little bit of background in order to understand the importance of these healthcare providers, these healthcare workers regarding the MCH and IMNCI programs. As you already know that Pakistan is a developing country, and Pakistan's health indicators, they reflect a poor state of mother and child health. Pakistan stands in the list with the highest newborn mortality rates. And in every country, not in just developing, also in the developed countries, a child health depends upon how healthy the mother is. And so the conditions are more worse in the developing countries, where attention is not paid, or as much attention is not paid toward the health of the mother. So the Pakistan government thought that the deaths can be prevented if women, particularly in the rural women. Why the rural women? Because majority of the Pakistani population, they are rural. So the government thought that if deaths can be prevented, if the woman, particularly rural women, and their health crisis can be addressed, and what health crisis should be addressed in order to reduce the maternal mortality and in order to reduce the childhood mortality of or the mortality of the children under 5 years of age. These health crises are like women nutrition and their access to the health care, and what is the quality of the health services provided to them, and moreover the availability of the skilled birth attendant. As you already know that in our rural setups, mostly the health or the deliveries are conducted by that of untrained birth attendants, which we normally call as DIEs. So it's also a major contributor towards this maternal mortality. So the government of Pakistan thought that if these health crises can be addressed effectively, so these deaths can be prevented, and so does the maternal mortality, and that of the mortality of the children under 5 years of age can be reduced accordingly. So in order to achieve the desired goal of reduced the childhood and the maternal mortalities in Pakistan, Government of Pakistan launched a Lady Health Worker program in 1994. This program employed the community-based outreach workers, and it was their responsibility of these outreach workers, of lady health worker, to provide the essential primary health care services to the women and to the children under 5 years of age in particular, as well as it was also their responsibility, and it is their responsibilities as well, to give the health education to the mother and to treat the minor ailment. And the roles and the responsibilities of these lady health workers will be discussed in detail later in the slides. It was just an overview that what was this program about and when it was launched in Pakistan. So in 2005, another program was launched, which was maternal, newborn and child health program. And the aim of this program is to reduce the proportion of births and deliveries which were done by the unskilled attendant, and to increase the proportion of the skilled birth attendant in unsupervised in unserved communities. And what they did is that they employed what we call nowadays is the community midwives. They are trained in the midwifery services, and they are skilled as compared to untrained birth attendants, and this created a lot of difference regarding the maternal mortality and the newborn mortality. So the learning objective of today's lecture is to understand that what is the individual role and what is the individual responsibilities of these healthcare workers, which are the lady healthcare workers, lady healthcare visitors, community midwives, and traditional birth attendants, in the provision of the mother and child health services all over Pakistan. So as I already told you that Pakistan is among those countries where the maternal and the child mortality rate is very high, and Pakistan is lagging behind in its efforts to achieve the Millennium Developmental Goals for MCH. So this LHW program was initiated, and these LHWs are deployed throughout the province of Pakistan. These LHWs are attached to the local health facility, but primarily they are community based. They work from their homes. Normally these are employed in the communities, in the societies where they belong originally, in the rural areas where they belong originally. So in order to provide the health services to the needed mother and to the children, in particular who are under 5 years of age. So regarding the training of the lady health workers, their basic educational qualification and their field experience, the basic health education which is must for a lady to be a lady health worker is middle pass. They are trained for about 3 months. They are trained by the medical officer or the woman medical officer or by the lady health visitor, and then they have a 1 year of field job, and after every year they have a 15 days of refresher training, and this refresher training is primarily done to what you can say is to improve their methods and to make them more knowledgeable about different situations of the health and disease in a community, and to in order to and so that they can update their knowledge accordingly. And though this is the basic requirements for a lady health worker, but there is substantial variation in the training pattern across the provinces, as the healthcare system and the healthcare problems and the health crisis varies in each province. In Punjab, we face different problem as compared to Sindh. So their training of these lady health workers, it varies from one province to another province. Regarding the roles and responsibilities and the duties which is assigned to a lady health worker, it is a broad scope of work regarding the duties of lady health worker. Initially, their work, their duties, their role were limited to the provision of mother and child health services. But now their duties have been extended towards the health campaigns, towards the care of newborn and the community management of TB, and health education regarding the diseases like AIDS, HIV. Okay? So in broader terms, the roles and responsibilities of a lady health worker can be divided into preventive duties, can be we can say that they are promotive duties, they are curative duties. So they are preventive, promotive and curative aspects of the healthcare provision, which comes under the title of the duties of the lady health worker. So to elaborate more the duties and role and responsibilities of a lady health worker, their duties can be divided into 22 different tasks, like the promotion of the use of contraception. They provide health education to a couple regarding the use of contraception. Then not only the health education but also the provision of the family planning services, like they provide or they distribute the oral contraceptive pills, the barrier methods regarding the condoms. They also provide the injectable contraceptives. Then they give the health education to the mother, to a family, about the hygiene promotion. As you already know that in developing countries, a major factor, a major determinant behind many communicable diseases is the poor hygiene. So they give the hygiene education to the woman regarding the care of her child and herself as well, and not only to women but to the family as well. And then they give advices about the vaccination promotion. Mind this, keep this thing in mind, that they don't give vaccination, they help the vaccinator, okay, in the provision of these vaccinations. but they help in the vaccinator, and they give the education and regarding the vaccination, that why is vaccination necessary for our child. Then they support the other health programs like the polio campaign. As already told you, they don't give the polio vaccine, but they help a vaccinator and they spread the awareness in the community. Okay. Then regarding the antenatal care, keep this thing in mind that they cannot give the antenatal care all by themselves. They do this alongside the traditional and the formal medical birth attendant. As I already told you that lady health workers are the outstation staff, and it means that they go to community to provide their services. So regarding this thing, they can give the treatment of the minor ailments like diarrhea, like respiratory tract infections, like worm infestation in that of the children. But keep this thing in mind, when there is a serious illness, it is the duty of the lady health worker to refer them to a higher health service center. Rather than giving them treatment at home, they refer them to other healthcare facilities. Then they can also give advice, and then not only just advice, but they also provide the nutritional interventions, like they can guide about the use of iodized salt. They can guide a mother about the use of a fortified milk, and regarding the iron supplementations, okay, and what should be done regarding the nutritional deficiency in a particular nutritional deficiency. Then, as we have already learned in when we are learning about the TB, tuberculosis in Pakistan, about the DOT therapy. So in that time we have learned that they are the various healthcare providers which are responsible for the distribution of the medicines regarding the DOT therapy. So lady health worker is also among those who provide the DOT therapy for the TB patients. Then they carry out the surveillance of the cases of polio. It means that they are not only involved in the campaign for the polio vaccine, but they also perform their duties regarding the surveillance of the cases of the polio. As they go from house to house to provide the healthcare services. So they have an eye on every house. So if they find a case which is susceptible, like a case of acute flaccid paralysis, then it is the duty of a lady health worker to inform the concern about this case of a polio. Then it is also their duty to keep comprehensive records of all their patients. So to summarize the roles and duties of the lady health worker, they have a duties regarding the basic health services, regarding the family planning, a referral of the patients in case of serious illness, and they are involved in the health campaigns, they are involved in organizing the health committees, then they are involved in provision of the treatment for the minor ailments, and the provision of the contraceptive devices and contraceptive pills, and as well as about the education regarding that of the methods of contraception. So this is all about the duties of the lady health worker. So it is one of the UQ which most frequently come in your prop, in your vivas. Then what is the lady health worker, what is her duty, and normally जो बेटा इसमें पूछ लेते होते हैं वो ये होता है कि what is their qualification. Okay, qualification पे आ जाता है कि qualification की basic qualification is middle, एंड लेडी हेल्थ वर्कर और लेडी हेल्थ विजिटर में जब आप डिफरेंस आप पढ़ोगे तो उसमें कि बहुत डिफ्रेंशिएटिंग पॉइंट होता है कि वहाँ पे सिर्फ एक जो चीज़ डिफ्रेंशिएट कर रही होती है वो उनकी बेसिक क्वालिफिकेशन होती है. सो दिस इज़ ऑल फॉर द लेडी हेल्थ वर्कर. नाउ वी मूव टू लेडी हेल्थ विजिटर. Yes, one thing which I didn't mention regarding the lady health worker is that, as I already told you, they are normally employed in the communities in the rural areas from where they originally belong. So they can also provide the health services to the community from their homes. And the home of this lady health worker is therefore called as that of the health house. Okay. So the people can visit the homes of these lady health workers in case of emergency treatment. As I've already told you, that they can provide the treatment for minor illness like diarrhea hai, like respiratory tract infections hai, like worm infestations hai. And a lady health worker is responsible for approximately 1,000 people, and they have a catchment area of 200 houses. So an area is allocated to the lady health worker for which she is responsible, and it is her responsibility to provide the basic health services to the residents of that area. So they normally give services to 1,000 people, and their priority is to give services to the couples of reproductive age group and to the children younger than 5 years of age. So the next healthcare worker which has a very important role in the provision of the MCH and IMNK services is a lady health visitor. These are specific healthcare providers which have employed in Pakistan. They existed in Pakistan since the very beginning, and they provide the services to the number of urban and rural communities, and including the basic nursing care, the maternal and child health services, as well as the training of the community workers. As I have already told you when we were discussing about the training of the lady health workers, that the lady health workers are either trained by medical officers or by the lady health visitors. So what is the difference between the lady health worker and the lady health visitor, we will discuss in the later slide. As I have already told you that normally a question come or the MCQ come regarding the qualification of the lady health worker and the lady health visitor. So lady health worker, their primary basic qualification was penal pass, but in case of the lady health visitor, their basic qualification is matriculation along with science in the science subject. So the lady health workers are primarily trained in a nursing school. They got their nursing training for around 2 years, and after that 2 years they receive another 1 year of midwifery training. So in the case of the lady health workers, they just receive a 3-month training in the classroom and then 1 year training in or the 1 year field experience. But in case of lady health visitor, they have a proper nursing training from a proper nursing school, and they are registered with the primary nursing council, and after that they receive 1 year of midwifery training. So what is the difference between the lady health worker or a registered nurse or a simple nurse which we normally see in a hospital is that they serve the community. The lady health workers, they go to the communities, they serve there, but a nurse, it is stationed in a hospital. So there is a clear demarcation in the role of these registered nurses and this lady health visitors. So in short, you can say that the lady health visitor is particularly a nurse or a midwife, but it has additional training regarding the midwifery services, regarding the services to the families, to the women of reproductive age group, and towards the children under 5 years of age, and regarding the promotion, prevention, and curative aspects of the health. So what are the roles and responsibilities which are allocated to a lady health visitor? Like the duties of the lady health workers, they are more or less like the same. Like they have preventive duties, promotive duties, and curative duties. But the difference is that the lady health worker, it goes to the communities. She is an outstation staff, she is an outreach staff. But the lady health visitor, she stays within the health facilities like a PHU or that of RSC. What they do is that they assist medical officer, and then when a pregnant lady comes there, she refers her to a vaccination center for the vaccinations of tetanus toxoid, which we know which is given during that of the 7th and 8th month of the pregnancy. Then they are responsible for the screening of high-risk pregnancies, and they guide the patients what are the danger signs regarding the pregnancies, and then they guide the patient and counsel the patient about the danger signs and what a woman should do when she noticed one of the danger signs in her pregnancy. And then they are also responsible for the referral to the patients to the secondary and tertiary healthcare facility if required, but this referral should again be done as per referral protocol. Because the lady health workers, their duty is within the health facility, within the PHU and RSC, so it is the responsibilities of the lady health worker that she keeps all the registered updated. She has to enter the data in the OPDs registers, into antenatal care registers, into the emergency registers. Okay, then it is also the responsibilities of a lady health visitor that she ensures the cleanliness of the labor pool. Then she ensures or she makes it confirms that the delivery is conducted in a safe and clean environment as per standard guidelines. Then she ensures that all the necessary documents like the ultrasound documents, that the delivery consent documents, they are signed properly before the conduction of a delivery or before any procedure. So it is the responsibilities, or you can say these are the administrative roles of the lady health workers. These are the administrative duties which have been allocated to her. So the duty and the roles of the lady health visitor, which we have discussed till now, they are related to the antenatal aspect. But the lady health visitors are also responsible for the postnatal care of a woman. And because they are stationed in a healthcare facility, so it is the duty of a LHV to take care of a woman and to keep a woman under observation for at least 6 hours after the delivery. And it is also the duty of LHV to ensure that the woman who has delivered should initiate breastfeeding within the first hour of her delivery. You might have learned about the concept of the baby-friendly hospital, and the concept of this baby-friendly hospital is that the baby scribe is put beside the mother. And the purpose behind is that to encourage the woman to breastfeed her child. So it is the duty of a LHV to encourage a woman and to guide her that what are the beneficial effects of breastfeeding, and what are the beneficial health effects her child will get if she breastfeeds him or her. So she gives proper information regarding the importance of the breastfeeding. Moreover, she guides the woman about the routine vaccination and what the vaccination her child should receive, and what will be the schedule for the as per EPI vaccinations, what will be the schedule regarding the EPI vaccinations. And then she is also responsible for the care of the baby cords. आपने सुना होगा in most of that of the rural communities, it is a custom to put the cow's dung or that of the soot of on the cord of the newborn. So it leads to that of very dangerous infections, of life-threatening infections in the newborn. So in case the woman delivered in the health facility, in the rural health center, in the BHU, it is the responsibility of LHV to take care of the baby's cord. Also, it is the duty of LHV to guide the woman about the hygiene of the newborn and about the personal hygiene. In the rural centers, in the rural communities, it is normally considered a myth to take the shower in the puerperal period, which is the 40 days after that delivery. So as we know that most of the communicable diseases, especially in that of the countries like Pakistan, in the developing countries, one of the major determinant is the poor hygiene. So it is the responsibility of the LHV to guide the woman about the personal hygiene and the hygiene of the newborn, and it is also her duty to guide the woman about the nutrition, that what she should take in the puerperal phase, and about the intake regarding the intake of iron, regarding the intake of calcium, and how she should give the feed to her baby. So much is discussed about the roles of LHV when it comes to the mother health. So regarding her role and duties toward the health of a child, it is her responsibility to attend all the suspected child which are coming to the health facility and to screen them for the malnutrition. There are very simple measures which you can do for the screening of the malnutrition. You have learned in the chapter of nutrition. There are the anthropometric measures, and which you can do hands-on, like mid-arm circumference, height for age, weight for age. And then if she finds it necessary that the child is severely malnourished and cannot be managed at home or in that health facility, it is her responsibility to refer her for further management into some higher secondary and that of the tertiary healthcare system. But this referral should again be according to the referral protocol. So again, it's her duty as well to update the medical officers about the deliveries, about the referral. So it means that she cannot do these things all alone on his own, but it is her responsibility to update the medical officers about this referrals and the delivery. So a lady health worker, she cures, she cares, she teaches, and moreover, which we have learned in that of the lady health when we are studying discussing the lady health worker training, that they are lady health visitors are responsible for the training of this lady health workers, and as well as traditional birth attendants. So another healthcare worker which has a very important role in MCH provision in Pakistan is traditional birth attendants. We have already heard the word dai or the midwife. Okay, so what is a traditional birth attendant? She is also known as a dai or midwife. She is the pregnancy and childbirth care provider and provide majority of the maternity cares in most of the developing countries, especially like in Pakistan. In the rural communities, in our villages, and that of these rural societies, the people prefer to have their deliveries conducted by dais rather than going to the healthcare facilities. So there is a major difference regarding the qualification of this traditional birth attendants and LHVs and LHWs. The traditional birth attendants, they are normally the older women who are respected in their communities, and as they've been living there for so many years, and like the age of the grandmothers, and they don't have any formal training on how to attend a pregnant woman. Moreover, they have no specific professional license or certifications. What they are doing and how they are doing is how they are doing the deliveries is basically based upon their self-taught experience, or it might be because of that they have attached themselves to someone who has providing these services to the pregnant ladies. So they often learn this thing through that of apprenticeship, or that they are self-taught in that of many communities. Since they have many years of experience regarding attending the pregnant women, so they are highly experienced, and so they know how to recognize that a woman is pregnant, and then to respond and recognize regarding the particular complications of the pregnancy. And it's all as they have no formal training, so it's all the game of experience which they have gained in the past so many years. And then they consider themselves as they are private healthcare practitioners who respond to the request of the services. We have already seen it, we have already heard it, that the people call for the dais and the midwives to their homes at the time of the delivery, considering them that they are really experienced regarding dealing with that of this pregnant lady and regarding the delivery of the child. And so the TBS consider themselves as their private healthcare practitioners. So in the country like Pakistan, where the health conditions are really poor, the health indicators reflects the high maternal mortality, reflects the rate of the high infant mortality, and where the very less budget is allocated to that of health sector, where the qualified healthcare workers are not willing to go to serve in the rural areas. These traditional birth attendants, they serve as a key strategy to improve the maternal and child health care, especially in that of unserved communities. So they have a potential contribution, and regarding maternal and child health care services, they have contributions in recognizing the labors and ensuring that they have a clean delivery of a baby, and deducting, and then there is a referring the maternal complications. And when the baby is delivered at home, they are also responsible for providing the hygienic cord care, and they tell the mother and ensure that the baby should be kept warm, and then they help the mother about the breastfeeding, and they educate the woman that how to breastfeed and what are the advantages of the breastfeeding. And then they provide advice on the number of the topic, as I already told you that they are experienced, so they can give advice on a number of the topics like the contraception, like family planning, like breastfeeding, like care of the newborn, like the care of the mother who has already delivered, like the care of the mother who is pregnant, and so and so. We have heard the stories that how a case or of delivery being ruined by that of this traditional birth attendants because of their lacking skills, and because of the lack of the knowledge. But it has also been observed that most of these trained birth attendants or traditional birth attendants, they are very much responsible. So they play a very effective role in improving the referral mechanism, that if they find that this pregnancy is complicated, if the woman is having complications, and if she is going to suffer in the hands of her, So she doesn't let her suffer in her hands, but rather she refers her to a higher healthcare facility. So that's how they are helpful in establishing the link of the community with that of the former healthcare system. So why these traditional birth attendants are more acceptable in our communities, particularly in our rural communities, is that the people find it more affordable rather than the professional midwife, and they find them more affordable because they accept whatever you pay them. And then also they're acceptable in the communities because they're older women, the people think they're experienced, they're respectable women of the communities, the people show trust towards them. And also these women or TBAs, they're happy to make the home visit. Okay, and so what the people need is the privacy of the pregnant lady. So these TBAs, they ensures the privacy of the mothers. Literature review have suggested that in developing countries like Pakistan, these TBAs are preferred over the midwives. Why? Because midwives are normally young unmarried girls without children. The people think that they don't have any experience regarding the pregnancies and what a woman suffers or what a woman goes through when she is pregnant or delivering a child. But these experienced ladies, they have an experience regarding all these things, regarding the childbirth, regarding the pregnancy, and so that she can deal better with the pregnant lady and with the newborn child as compared to this unexperienced or the unmarried midwife. So the last to discuss is the community midwife. We know that in Pakistan 60% of the births are being conducted by this unskilled birth attendants or that of the TBAs, and because majority of the Pakistanis they reside in that of the rural communities, and these births which are conducted by the unskilled birth attendants, they can lead to many complications and hence are major contributors toward the maternal mortality rate in the country. So to combat this problem of this high maternal mortality and that of the infant mortality, the CMVs or the community midwives were introduced by the government of Pakistan, and in order to provide the communities with the services of a trained birth attendant. So to increase the proportion of the births which are attended by the skilled provider, the government of Pakistan took the initiative and they introduced the post of the community midwives so that the problems which the women are facing during the delivery and when they were attended by that of the unskilled or untrained birth attendant can be compensated by the provision of the services through the trained birth attendants, which we nowadays call as the community midwives. So regarding the training of this community midwives, these are normally the rural women from that particular community where they were deployed later after the completion of their training. So they are the rural women with 10 years of education, and then they have 18 months of midwifery training. In case of LHS, we have learned that they have a primary qualification of matriculation with science and 1 year of experience. But in case of CMVs, it is mandatory to have 18 months of midwifery experience. And after the completion of the training, they have been deployed back to their villages, and where they are expected to establish private practices, or they can work alongside the skilled birth attendants or alongside the medical officers to provide the maternal and child health care services and in their respective catchment areas. So as the CMVs are the replacements for that of the traditional birth attendants, so the duties of the traditional the CMVs is to provide the domiciliary maternity care, which is the care which a woman receives at her home, and it is responsibility of a CMV, and she covers a catchment area with the population of 10,000. She provides the antenatal care, she pays her a home visit and guide her about her nutrition and guide her about the pregnancy complications and guide her about the danger signs of pregnancy. She also sensitizes her about the family planning and about the contraception. She also sensitizes the mother during her pregnancy about the breastfeeding. Then after the delivery, she takes care of the woman at her home and provides the postnatal care and she guides her about her personal hygiene, about the hygiene of the newborn, and she's responsible for the care of the cord care of the newborn, and about also about the feeding, breastfeeding of the newborn, and she guides the mother about different aspects of health and nutrition, not only about herself but also about the health and care of her baby. So that's all for today's lecture. That the services, mother and child health services and integrated management of neonatal and childhood illness in Pakistan works through different healthcare workers. These are the lady health workers, these are the lady health visitors, these are community midwives, and these are the traditional birth attendants. And the duties of all are more or less the same. They are preventive, promotive, and curative, and it is their moral duty as well as their ethical duty to refer a woman if they find it that the pregnancy is complicated, and so that timely management of the woman can be done, and some secondary or tertiary healthcare facilities. So when the question comes to you in the prof or in the viva, it's like that: what are the duties of this specific healthcare workers? What is their basic qualification? And they can ask you that what is the difference in the duties of a lady health worker or the lady health visitor. One is the outstation or outreach staff, and one is that of the station staff. Okay, and what they can ask you about what is the health house. Okay, and why the TBAs are preferred over the other midwives. Okay, why the community accept them more. So these are the questions which can come to you in your UQs or in your vivas or in your OSCPs. If you have any query, then you can post it in the comment section, and I'm here to answer to you. Thank you.